Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're doing a bit of a video that a lot of people have requested, and something that I've kind of been putting off because I wanted to do this before I went to Japan, but the meta just changes so much. It's so hard to get a grasp on these units, and what I'm talking about is a PvP tier list. So I do want to kick off a bit of a series over here on the channel where we talk about PvP as a game mode and really break it down in all aspects. The game mode shifts so drastically depending on stuff like the rule set, new characters that release. All it takes is like one ridiculously good character to sort of bolster so many other units of the class or the color and bring that particular color or class back into the meta as very, very good. But as always, in PvP, stereotypically, Dex will beat Quick fairly comfortably. Quick will beat Strength fairly comfortably. Strength will beat Dex most of the time. Right now, it's a bit iffy. Then you've got Psi and Int. They kind of interchange. Int is stereotypically a little bit stronger than Psi, but Psi are very, very good as well. And then you have class teams. Now, class teams have never really been a thing besides, like, Driven Powerhouse. But nowadays, we're seeing the rise of stuff like Slashers. Well, Slashers were back in the day, like, crazy. But now we're seeing, like, the rise of the chunky Slashers. We're seeing stuff like Free Spirit destroy this particular championship, as well as stuff like Cerebral, Fighter, and, I can't remember what the other one is. I'm blanking. Oh, Shooter. Being very, very good in terms of defensive base options. So, in today's video, we're going to take all the legends, put them on a tier list for you guys, and we're going to add the PvP rare recruits as well. If you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and if you disagree or agree, let me know in the comment section below. I love talking about this stuff. I love disagreeing with people. It's always a lot of fun to have these kinds of discussions. But remember, this is my personal opinion, just playing the game, playing a lot of PvP. It's one of my favorite game modes. I do love PvP quite a bit. I love Grand Party. So that is going to obviously come into effect of this as well, because Grand Party has become a big aspect of the game where people get a lot of gems and a lot of rewards. So if you enjoyed the video, like I said, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's dive in. Alright, so to break down the tiers for you guys, just to give you an idea of how I'm ranking these characters. First of all, we got the GOATs. Like, these are just going to be like the best of the best characters. If you're building a team around this particular team, like, you're pretty much building it around these particular characters that we're going to set up here. Next, you've got meta, the characters that sort of fit in with the best team for their particular situation. And I'm going to sort of focus on the big teams being like Dex, the Int-driven Powerhouse team, the Psi team, the Quick-driven team, Slashers, as well as Strikers. Strikers also, I forgot to mention at the start, are absolutely insane. And then Free Spirit as well. These guys are just going to like stand above, and they're just going to be so good for their team. Meta, they're going to have very, very good units. And then Terrific with Advantage. I'm actually going to bring that down one. I think Great Units is going to fall in first before Terrific with Advantage. These units are all going to be great, but their strongest point is like you're only using them if you're versing their advantage. And what I mean by that is like you're only using this character if like you're versing, say, Quick versus Strength. For example, something like Sugar or Izokiku. Next, you got Great Unit, but bad team. Like, the team needs work. You got an option, like, it's an option. Defensive Juggernaut. These are pretty much only used on defensive teams. Yeah, look, these ones here, like, they're okay, I guess. Like, if you level them up, I'm not going to hold it against you, but, like, you're never going to use them, really. Then you got Bugged. That's a special tier. We'll talk about that when we get there. And then we got this one here. This is you're never going to use. Now, I've already filled out a bunch of characters here. If you guys want to scroll through and have a look, if there's anything that stands out here, please let me know in the comment section below. Because, like, there are going to be some standouts, but, like, let's be real. Like, they're probably only going to make these, like, bottom tiers anyway. And look, we definitely might add some more characters there as well. But the reason I've done this is because, look at it. Like, look, we have so much to talk about today. We have so many characters, and going through my other tier list for Anniversary as well, like, this has taken forever, so I'm going to dive straight in. So next, first we got Robin. Robin is she's a great unit, but Cerebral are they're just not it, like, at the moment. Izokiku, I have dropped off with Izokiku, but they are a terrific unit. When you are versing Strength, they're absolutely fantastic. Frankie Danky, wow. He's an option. He's an option for Free Spirit teams, but more of a defensive Juggernaut, if I'm completely honest. I'm going to put him in option, though, because I'm actually going to swap these around, too. Because, like, defense is such a big part of the game nowadays, and building out bait teams and defensive options is definitely something that we want to do. Next, you got Brook that came along with Frankie. He's an option for the Quick team, not the go-to. You've got, you got your Rogue. Now, your Rogue's an interesting one. I don't like your Rogue. I think your Rogue's actually bad. He is terrific with advantage, but, like, without the advantage, he is just so bad. Like, he's so goddamn bad. Unlike Apu, who's, like, crazy. Next, you've got, this Blackbeard. Look, he's okay, I guess. Like, who's running Powerhouse teams, though? Let's be real. Next, we've got X-Drake. X-Drake's just a great unit. Probably terrific with advantage, because you're only ever running him against Strength with that Dex with that Striker team. But if you are running that sort of strike team, he is a very good unit. Kuzan. Ooh. Okay, Kuzan's a goat. Kuzan is so good, man. For striker teams and for side teams, this guy pops up like crazy. 4k fixed damage is insane. With level limit break, this guy goes absolutely ballistic. Luffy. This Luffy, if you're building a Dex team, you're building it around this Luffy. Like, this is one of the best PvP characters in the entire game. Can revive a unit once. It's just, he's so good. Like, and the damage output he has is great. Next, you got Kaido. Kaido's probably just a great unit. I used to love that strength, the strength striker team when you got Dex, but nowadays, like, there's just so many better options in my opinion. You've got, what's your name? Why am I blanking here? Ace and Yamato, they're a defensive juggernaut. They have a shield, and free spirit defense can be very, very good. The waifus. The waifus are pretty much a meta unit at the moment. They're finding a way onto the free spirit striker team, as well as being an absolute strength demon. Out of all of these strength strikers, I do think they're the most valuable to own now. Their delay mechanic, or their confusion mechanic, I should say, is just absolutely busted when it goes off. Like, avoiding 3 specials is nuts. You got Smoothie. She's okay. She's a bench option in my opinion. She does a lot of damage. You could put her on most like powerhouse or quick teams as a bench if you've got the spot. But there's just other options that are way better. Blackbeard. Ooh, Blackbeard's a great unit. Blackbeard's dropped off for me. He boosts powerhouse and he goes on that int-driven powerhouse team. He's a fantastic character. But nowadays, he's definitely dropped off with a lot of other driven units that have sort of that do float around. Who's Who is a great unit, but a bad team. Fighters are good defensively, but like this guy, he's actually disgusting. Like very, very good. Same with Katakuri. Katakuri's like a go-to if you're building a fighter team. He's the first unit you want to put on the team if you're building fighters. But look, they're mainly there for defensive options, if anything. Hiyori, look, she's okay, I guess. She's the subject of a bad team being Cerebrals. She's more of just an option on that particular team, if I'm honest. So I'm gonna put her in like, she's okay, I guess, but like nothing too crazy. Uta, again, the product of Robin being Cerebral. She's very good for damage output. She's one of the characters you're gonna put on the Cerebral team first, but Cerebrals are just kind of whatever. Next, you got Chopper. He's a defensive juggernaut. Really good for the Cerebral team if you are looking defensively. He's a must-have. But he doesn't give you offensive power like what Uta does for that particular team. Shiki, Shiki's really good. I really like Shiki. Definitely a meta unit for quick driven. Not the first pick for that team, but definitely a very, very good unit in terms of the meta of that particular team and the way it operates. Shanks is another great unit with a bad team. Cerebrals again, they're just missing the mark. Ben Beckman, Lucky Root, they're an option for a shooter team. So I'm going to stick them up here, and again, great unit but bad team, because they're one of the first units you want to put on that shooter team, but they're mainly there for defensive options. Next, you got this Snake Man, very good tanking unit, but honestly, like, he's really built for defensive teams, if you are looking for, like, a scythe defensive option. Next, you've got Sop Sop. Sop Sop work exceptionally on defensive shooter teams. Shooter's big aspect is defense. And they are a great unit on a bad team, but like on a defensive option, like they help the shooter team so much with their half stats. Like it's crazy. Top Musica is like a meta base. No, honestly, like she's a goat. She goes on the driven powerhouse team and the int team, and she's one of the only characters that I'll pick up. Like she's one of the first characters I'll put on that team because of her half stat mechanic. Half stats are so broken. She doesn't lower like defense or anything like that, but like reducing the damage you take is crazy. Hina, like she's okay, I guess. Cerebrals again, they kind of missed the mark. V2 Blackbeard, 6+ level limit break. He's an option. You can use him on driven powerhouse. Corazon, yeah, again, Cerebrals, like, it's okay, I guess. K-Dad, though, oh my god, K-Dad's so good. K-Dad just recently got a buff, as well, and they have found their way back onto the meta slasher team. I'm using them at the moment to absolutely decimate, free spirit teams, because of their added extra attack, and they give defense up now that you've got an Odin on the team, which is so, so good! You've got Orochi now. Orochi's just a great unit. I don't think Orochi's as good as Shiki, but definitely a very good option, and a terrific unit for PvP with special blind and fixed damage. Ashura Zora, I'm going to slap him right next to K-Dad. I used to be a massive K-Dad stan over Ashura Zora. I didn't even put this guy into the discussion, but now with their buffs, both of these have gotten so good on slasher teams that they have found their way into the meta. You can either run it like super chonky, or you can run it like this sort of damage output centric team. At the moment, these two have been the key for me to help take down Free Spirit, because Free Spirit's just nuts at the moment. Kid's a great unit. I really like Kid. I always did, even before his 6+ level limit break. With the driven sort of dex build, he's very, very good. Grand Party, he's a great option as well. Very, very good option under particular leaders. This Big Mom, like, yeah, okay. She's an option, I guess. This is the Super Tandem one. She's more of an option than what the other one is. But, yeah, she's an option. This Page 1, like, why is he a PvP unit? He can work, but, like, fighter teams... I need a lot of help, man. This Jinbei is an option, but more of a defensive juggernaut. These two together work so well on this like weird defensive side team. It never really took off, but like it's very, very good. Very, very good. Next we got Boa. Boa's actually a great unit. I use this Boa a lot on my strength team. I don't use the Kaido team, but I can still recognize how good it is, especially if you have type advantage here. But this Boa, man, she goes so friggin' hard in Rumble. This Chopper is a defensive juggernaut. These two Choppers, for their respective teams, being Shooter and Cerebral, just make the team almost unkillable. It's kind of nuts. Roger. Ooh, Roger has to go into... Look, I have to put Roger in GOAT. The reason I'm going to put Roger in GOAT is because of Grand Party. This guy's so good. He is the best Grand Party unit. And honestly, he's still really, really good in regular Rumble. I run him on my Free Spirit team now, alongside Sai Odin. But I'm going to put him in like an asterisk here. For like Grand Party exclusive, because like he's just so good in Grand Party, man. And everyone that's used Roger knows how good he is. Nami's gonna go in Bugged. I made a tier just for Nami because this character hurts my soul. It fucking pisses me off that this character on paper is so good, especially for Free Spirits who are going crazy right now. They even buffed her. They even put a memo in the game that buffed this character, and she's still bugged. She's meant to do 1500 to 3000 fixed damage, which would take 30% from int reduction if they have that, but or sight reduction for int characters, but they didn't fix her. I'm gonna move on. Sugar is a terrific unit with advantage. She absolutely destroys strength with the amount of CD reduction she gives. This Whitebeard, look, he's an option, I guess, kind of like this Big Mom. Like he can come in off the bench. Rayleigh Gaban, again, is an option for the Free Spirit team. Everyone raves on about Rayleigh Gaban. I don't rate them at all. You need 8 characters to make them good. And Free Spirit just don't have the depth for the bench for that to be nice. You can run like whatever bench, but it is what it is. This Luffy's an option. I do like this Luffy a lot, but I'm just looking at this great unit tier up here, and I don't think he's as good as any of those characters. So I'm gonna drop him down. This Uta is gonna go right next to this Uta because she goes on like the quick Cerebral team, which is like built up of like this sort of build here. And you can do some cool stuff, but like the regular Cerebral build, you're always going to choose this Uta over that Uta. You know what I mean? Perispero. I'm going to put Perispero in, okay, because like I've never used Perispero actually. I have read his kit. I just haven't got around to using the character, so I don't want to like unbiasedly rank him. CatDog is a great unit for Cerebral teams and Slasher teams. I'm a big advocate of using CatDog on the Chonky Slasher team, but nowadays I've been leaning more towards these two. Nevertheless, though, the healing, the damage output that they have is very, very nice. Ace is a defensive juggernaut, goes right next to this character here on with shooters. Honestly, I probably need to give him more credit. I use him in PvP for shooters, but like shooters, they're just a bad team. They have great units, but they're just a bad team. Same with this Luffy. This Luffy is pretty good in PvP, but like again, the fighter team, this one right here, it just needs a little bit more because with Who's Who, he boosts fighter, he's boosts powerhouse, not fighters per se. So he's like very, very good for fighter teams, but I just wish he boosts powerhouse, where this Luffy just needs that little bit more. But honestly, I'm going to put Katakuri up here because I think Katakuri is just way better than these two characters. Like, way better. Like, Katakuri's a great unit. Like, he's such a good unit. This Sabo is an option, I guess. Like, you can run him on the Cerebral team, but it is what it is. Odin is meta with these 3 slashes here, and then the other 2 that we're going to talk about later. Like, I've been having so much fun with these guys. Absolutely decimating Free Spirit at the moment, and I'll hopefully have a video out for you guys on that particular that particular run. Carrot's an option. Boosts like fighters, slashers, shooters, and strikers. Obviously, you want to kind of run her either on like a quick build or like a slasher build, but she's definitely an option. Ace nowadays, look, Ace is okay, I guess. He's definitely an option though. Look, honestly, he's probably just a great unit. He's dropped off a lot, but that's not the product of Ace. It's the product of like of strength. I'm gonna put him as an option because like nowadays he's dropped off quite a lot. Unlike his counterpart though, who's an absolute goat. Akainu is still so good in PvP. quick driven and just quick in general. He's an absolute decimator of strength. And even when you don't verse strength, his HP cuts and his fixed damage is like his damage is just so nice. Big Mom, she's an option. Look, she's okay, I guess. You can run her on the bench for nuking. Same with this this Boa, like, she's okay. You're probably never going to use her, if I'm honest. Neko, though. Neko's up there in terms of a meta unit. I'm going to put Neko in meta and Dogstorm in great unit. I do want to differentiate the two, because Cat Viper is pretty much a must-go on Dex teams when you're versing Quick for most people, because he's been around for so long, but you're mainly going to run the Fortnite Dogstorm to sort of max out your team cost. However, this Dogstorm's really good at taking down quick teams, so I'm going to actually put him in terrific with advantageous type. This Whitebeard, he is definitely an option. The HP cuts are really nice, and his defensive capabilities definitely are there. This Boa is a defensive juggernaut for shooter teams. Very good on those teams. This Kuzan, I'm going to put him on defensive juggernaut too. He's a rainbow unit, but you're basically banking on his action bind nowadays. Kizaru is going to go into great unit. You can run these like speed slashes with Kizaru, but I do think he's dropped off quite a bit since the revolution of the chonky slashes. Jinbei is a defensive juggernaut. Very good defensive option with him. Tesoro, another one of my goats. Tesoro is so good. Level limit break 4 or higher. Finds his way on the striker team, finds his way on the quick driven team, and finds his way on any other team that he wants to fall on, because he gives so much CD reduction and he gives so much defense. And the fixed damage of 3,500, like, come on, bro. That unit's so good. Corazon is amazing with advantageous type. You're going to use Dogstorm most of the time, but he's definitely very good. Next, you've got Brook, a absolute defensive juggernaut. Really good Grand Party option, Brook, for, like, Roger Dex teams. I've been finding a lot of success with Brook there. Frankie is an absolute disgusting defensive juggernaut. If you have 3 less units than the enemy, Frankie just doesn't die. Like, he refuses to die. It's kind of wild. This bow is actually an option on free spirit teams. Even without the crit free spirit team, this bow is really good, because PvP Sandersonio is an absolute demon, and you need a boa for that to actually work. This Dofi, look, I kind of want to put Dofi here in meta, because he fits on multiple teams. Driven, Int, and Slasher can find this Dofi on them. So I do want to put him in. For me, he's not as good as his Blackbeard, to be honest. And I don't run him as much as, like, these slashes. I don't even run him as much as this Kizaru, if I'm completely honest with you guys. But he's a really good unit. Like, he's a great unit. Like, a very good unit. So I'm going to put him in great unit. I think that's probably more fair. This Iso is the HP cutting one. For me, he's okay, I guess. But, like, I know a lot of people like him for the HP cutting potential and driven int teams. So I'm going to put him in option. Shirahoshi, she is an absolute defensive god. She just heals like crazy, especially if she's below 50% HP. Bullet, another really defensive juggernaut. Provocability is so strong nowadays, and you can just outstall fights, especially in Grand Party where that's actually viable. Next, you've got Lucci. He's an option for the shooter team. Not a good option though, if I'm honest. Like, he's a very low option. I hate seeing these two here. Like, these two here actually hurts my soul. But look, I can't move them. Katakuri, he's an option. Honestly, he's okay, I guess. Actually, no. He's great with type advantage. I like him more than your rogue, so I have to put him up there. Rayleigh is a great unit. Rayleigh's made his way back into the meta with Free Spirit being really good. He's a cerebral unit too, so you can fit him on both. But overall, he's just a rainbow booster. Such a defensive god. This guy is an absolute defensive fiend. Plus, now he has fixed damage, so like he's a great unit. Lots of people using him over Zoro actually, which is kind of funny. Wano Law still a meta unit. As long as they keep releasing driven powerhouse characters, Wano Law keeps getting better and better. Sire in a weird spot, but when you are versing driven powerhouse, like Law is a meta. Like he's like himself is a meta. This Boa is an option. Honestly, she's okay, I guess. This Jinbei, I don't know if anyone's used this Jinbei, but he's very good on Dex defensive teams. He's an absolute defensive juggernaut. You ain't never going to use Luffy Sanji. I don't even know why you're still here. Capone, you are a defensive juggernaut. You just, like, don't die. The Capones, they just made them indestructible. Blackbeard is a meta unit, in my opinion. I run Blackbeard on pretty much all my Dex teams. He's so good, not only against Quick, but against Strength, which is the counterpart to Dex. So, fantastic character, and if you have level limit break 4 Blackbeard and haven't tried him out, I would highly recommend doing so. He's a massive HP cut. He gives really good stats. Plus, when Dofi comes in, he's a driven character, so you get buffs there. He's so good. Like, he's so good. Akainu, he's okay, I guess. Just basically a bench option if you can fit him. Shirahoshi Manchuri is defensive juggernaut. Their healing on cerebral teams is just like outstanding. This Roger is doubled up, so whatever. Yeah, look, Sanji Pudding there, yeah, whatever. Ooh, okay. This Zoro is still an option. I actually still run this Zoro every now and again because he's a driven slasher and his Dex unit. And I found in Grand Party he's a very good option for a bench, especially because Dex have so many good PvP rare recruits. So he's definitely an option. Kaido, people aren't gonna like me for this, but like I'm gonna put Kaido in option. I don't rate Kaido anymore. I put him kind of in this kind of tier with these characters though. Like I do recognize that he's probably one of the best of these. So I guess you could probably say he's a great unit. I like Orochi a lot more. But he still does so much damage. I'll put him up here for now because he's a driven unit as well. And that quick driven team is still so good. As soon as quick driven drops off though, like he's going to be out of here so quick smart. Like it's not even funny. Enel. Enel's still a really good unit. I don't run Enel as much as I used to. He's still very, very good. But on Sai nowadays, I lean more towards these types of characters here. Even Roger nowadays is really, really good. So Enel hasn't found his way on the meta, but he's still an exceptional unit. Let's just put you there because that way you're out of the way. Nami's okay, I guess. She can find a way onto quick teams to like nerf, but that's about it. Magellan nowadays is an option. The haste is really nice, but like most of the time you probably run Brook over this Magellan. Brook kind of just does what he does, but better. Moria though is a goat. Moria's half stats are so good, and he finds his way onto every int team. He's one of the int characters that you build the int team around. Guaranteed 3 half stats and the amount of cooldown reduction he has. He basically always goes first, and it's just kind of nuts what he can do. Plus he has fixed damage, which is always really, really cool. Next we've got Cracker. Cracker I'm going to put next to Kizaru, because you basically run these two together, and then you pick one of these, and then you just go absolutely ballistic in terms of how much damage output you can do. Odin sort of always finds his way there. But like I said, I'm going to talk about two other units in a second that like found their way into the top there. Next, you got Fire Tank Pirates. They're a defensive juggernaut. If you verse them, you know how annoying that unit is. Law, look, he's okay. I have to put him here because of the PvP challenge. He just kind of wrecks me every time I fight that stupid fight. Kid is a goat. If you're building a strength team, you're building it around Kid. But just like Kuzan, he finds his way onto the striker team. He finds his way onto like a bench if you can slot it. He's just so good. Driven is kind of crazy and always has been in Rumble, and Kid being driven actually helps out a lot. This Asabo, they're an option. Honestly, they're okay, I guess. Like they've dropped off. I tried using them on Free Spirit, and they just weren't there. This Komurasaki is an absolute defensive god. The healing this unit has for int is nuts. Marco is okay. He's okay, I guess. Good damage output for int. This Sanji, he's okay, I guess, for bench options on Sai. And then Germa, look, he's okay too. I haven't used these two units in God knows how long. You've got King. He's okay, I guess, as well. Again, I wouldn't say he's as good as something like Magellan or Brook or even Luffy, so I'm going to put him down here in okay. Next, we've got Queen. Queen's actually pretty good. I don't think Queen gets enough credit. I put Queen next to Kid. I don't think I can because the game's just... Oh, that's right. The tier list being... Here we go. I put Queen next to Kid. If you're going to run Queen, you're going to run Kid, and then you run like Dofi and Blackbeard in the front, and then Luffy. And then you just build out the bench. But if you're running Pell and stuff like that, Queen doesn't see that much play. But he's still a very good option whether you run either Kid or whether you run Queen. Terrific unit with type advantage is Toki. You can do some crazy stuff with these guys up here as well, being like a strength slasher team when you are versing Dex. That can work very nicely. This Luffy crew is more of a defensive juggernaut. I find they work exceptionally well on a defensive team. I have seen people use them on offense, but defense is where they've always outshone for me. And then we've got Reiju, who is definitely a defensive option. Reiju on the defense team and the stalling capabilities, damage over time has quickly become an underrated, yet so incredibly good ability. So don't underestimate Reiju if you see him on defense. Next, you've got Kizaru. He's terrific with advantage. You're basically going to run him alongside like these units. Corazon kind of falls at the back end of this, but if you've got Kizaru and you're coming up against Quick, a very, very good unit. Yamato is still a great unit. I do like, obviously, Sai Yamato more. But this Yamato is still a great unit. I'm not putting her in meta because she doesn't find her way onto that int-driven team for me. And if I do, I run her at the back. But this Yamato is a definite GOAT. This Yamato goes so hard with her half stats, especially in Grand Party with Sai and then Roger guaranteeing half stats and then having her go as nuts. However, she might drop out of here soon because they are introducing a lot of characters that have immunity to half stats. So honestly, I kind of want to drop her out, but every time I build Sai, like, she has to be on the team. Like, she's a must-have unit on that particular team. Like, she's a must-have. I feel like putting her up there is still... But, like, that's subject to change with half stats being absolutely power crept. Page on ulti, yeah, look, power... Yeah, they're okay. Jack is a GOAT. Jack's so good. Just so good. Jack 6+ level Limit Break 4 is disgusting. Like, striker teams, strength teams, rainbow teams, it doesn't matter. You just put Jack on there, and another character we're going to talk about later, and these two characters just give you so much bulk and so much HP cutting as well, which is nuts. Putting she's okay, I guess, nothing crazy. Doflamingo is the product of a bad team, but an exceptional unit. He ignores defense with that secondary shot, which can hurt a lot. This Katakuri, look, he's okay, I guess. I'm going to put him next to these units here with the powerhouse meta. Wait, which Brook did I put up here? Oh, that's the old Brook. I was like, wait a second. That's the wrong Brook. Let's put the real Brook up here. That's my bad. Sorry, Brook stance. Whitebeard Roger! Whitebeard Roger is a GOAT. I believe this is the best unit in PvP right now. I don't think there's any character that is better than this particular character. Like, it's the bottom line. If you're running slashers, you're running Whitebeard Roger. If you're running strikers, you're running Whitebeard Roger. If you're running weird rainbow wonky builds, you're running Whitebeard Roger. They just guarantee 2 kills. Like, they're great in Grand Party as well. They're a fantastic leader. And I just think they're absolutely exceptional. I might actually introduce a top 5 at the end of the video, by the way, and just sort of put my top 5 best units in there as well. So, Whitebeard Roger, in my opinion, are the best PP unit in the game. Next, we've got Straw Hat Crew. I'm going to put Straw Hat Crew in meta just because nowadays they're not the go-to for me for the Free Spirit team. And I'll explain that once we get there, but this, like, Luffy Crew is still so good with their haste, and they can do still do so much, but you do lose every other Straw Hat on the team. They do really work really well with the Psy Free Spirit team, though. The Psy Free Spirit team goes absolutely crazy. This Bon Clay, look, he's okay, I guess. I don't rate him, but people do like him for some goddamn reason. Carrot Wanda, they're a great unit. They find their way on cerebral teams or slasher teams. Very, very good. Doflamingo is an absolute GOAT. One of the best DPS units in the game. Well, not DPS, but, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, at the back end of 30 seconds, if this guy goes off, he basically kills everything. If you verse the Dex Challenge team and throwing your phone against the wall, it's usually because of that guy. Next, you got Odin. He's another GOAT. These two together can just be an absolute terror, yet can be absolutely shit all at the same time. And it's what makes the Psy team so frustrating, because you verse it and it absolutely decimates you, but then you use it and it does fuck all. So, good on you, Odin. Very good, though, on slasher teams. Very good on Free Spirit teams right now. Just a terrific unit. I'm going to put Kinemon Denjiro in a defensive category. I think they work way better on defensive teams than they do on offensive teams. But I have seen people use them on stuff like Free Spirit. Obviously, Free Spirit Psy. Garp. Garp's an option. I'm not even putting him on great unit of a bad team, because, like, they're just better fighter characters to use on that particular team. This Kaido, I don't think this Kaido gets enough love, man. I think this Kaido's really good. I really do. I don't know if I would put him above this Yamato, but, like, his revive mechanic is actually really nice. And in Grand Party, like, he does see a lot of play. I have used him quite a bit in some previous seasons. Kuma, though, Kuma's meta. I'm not going to put Kuma in GOAT because, like, I much prefer Kid, but, like, Kuma is so good, man. His buff they gave him to just kill 2 units is so strong. His passive is much to be desired, though. Next, you've got Marco. He's a really good unit, but he's so wonky because he boosts Powerhouse, but he's mainly found on the Psy Fighter team. He helps out this Katakuri so much, but really he's just a defensive option. So watch out for him on the Fighter defensive team, even though he boosts Powerhouse. This Perona, a really good defensive option, but she's not, like, one that you're going to, like, go to. This Kid, in my opinion, is a meta unit. This Kid is so underrated. He absolutely tears through enemy's defense. He doesn't go through defense, but he can special blind, and he does a lot of damage. A very, very powerful character, and great on the int-driven team. This Law, I'm going to put it next to, where's the good units but bad team? This team here is on the rise, though, because like Shanks just got buffed. So I'm interested to see how this team goes with the Cerebral Blast of Ivankov and stuff like that. This Shanks, he's okay, I guess. He's a good option at the back end of 50 seconds, but I wouldn't level him up too much. But then the reason you do is because you actually get this Whitebeard alongside him, which you can see play at the back end of an int team. So if you guys are struggling for like building out teams, they're an option you can try, but I wouldn't go crazy with your scrolls on them. Just maybe get them to like level 3 and level 7 and stuff like that. This Big Mom, she's definitely an option. Honestly, no, she's really good against Sai. I really like this this Big Mom, but she doesn't see as much play something like Katakura Rogue and some other characters that we will talk about. If I remember to put them on the list, I don't know if I remember. Oh, yeah, I did. Ulti. Ulti is a fantastic character with a bad team. She's a must-have on the fighter team, just like Katakuri. She's your next go-to. However, I find Katakuri just way better. Like, his passive is so insane. His special is so insane. Ulti special goes absolutely ballistic, though, which is kind of nuts. Lucci, nowadays, he's just an option. He's an option for the Dex team. Nothing too crazy. I wouldn't even put him in great unit. I would put this chick in meta, though. She's very, very good. Amazing against quick teams. And that's the main time I use her. But I would 100% use her over Cat Viper. And for that reason, I'm actually going to bring Cat Viper down. Because I do think that Yamato and Blackbeard are way better than what Cat Viper provides. Zora Sanji, honestly, you're never going to use that unit. I'm going to put them there. Otama, though. Otama has had a huge rise. Great unit. Gives healing. Free Spirit on the rise right now. And she's a product of that meta being so strong right now. We'll talk about that once we get to the anniversary characters. Jozu, he's okay, I guess. I don't really like that Jozu. I think he's dropped off quite a bit. The Cat Viper option for the Striker or the Cerebral team. Obviously, Cat Viper Dogstorm is a way better option. This Enel is probably the only PvP character that you're going to see on this tier list. He's an option if you're looking for driven int characters to fill out that team. Definitely an option. This Sanji, he's okay, I guess. I don't really use that Sanji ever. This Stussy, you're never going to use this Stussy. Don't even worry about leveling her up. Whitebeard, though, he's an option for your bench. Still a really good nuker, but he's just outdated nowadays. Lots of people voted for him in that poll that I put out, which is kind of crazy to see that a lot of people still love that unit. Colgar and Nolan, like, they're okay, I guess. I'm going to put them here because, like, I was once a Colgar and Nolan stan, but nowadays, I just think they're bad. Conus is a advantageous destroyer. Very, very good alongside, like, this sort of meta here with Katakuri. She can do absolute wonders there, but, like, if you're not versing Sai, she kind of sucks. Kaku is definitely an option. Really good bench option still. Really, really good at taking down Dex, if I'm honest. Probably should go up here in type advantage. But, well, actually, you know what? No, I'll put him up here in type advantage because he's a slasher and goes alongside Toki, Odin, K-Dad, all those types of units. This Frankie, he's okay, I guess. Damage over time has gotten really, really good, though. Really, really good. And this guy carried me in PvP for my baby account, so I do want to give him some love. It's very, very good. But he's okay. This Tontana Leo unit, you're never going to use. Oars, honestly, never going to use Oars. Oars is bad. This Law, though, is really, really good. This Law is a great unit. Very, very good, again, with this, like, strength slasher team that we have going on that I've been talking about. But otherwise, just a really good bench unit or a very good PvP character for strength. This Sober Mask is a meta-based nuker. You can put him on basically any team and he will, like, work really well. But he usually finds his way on the back end of a Dex team because he's such a low cost. And all these PvP characters, they're so good because of that. This Cavendish, he's okay, I guess. I use him on the driven Dex team, but lots of people don't like this Cavendish at all. Rebecca Toy Soldier. Ooh, Rebecca Toy Soldier and meta. I see a lot of people not run Rebecca Toy Soldier anymore, which is kind of mind-boggling to me because honestly, I would put Rebecca Toy Soldier on the team before I put something like Yamato, just so that way you can run on a bench. The problem with Sai is it doesn't have enough bench options that, like, help nuking, and Rebecca Toy Soldier is so good in the front, you kind of have to put her there. But I guess we'll put her on in meta because if you don't have her, it does help. It does hurt, but it's not as painful as not having those two because, like, you just run that 5-man Free Spirit Sai team. Shiryu is an absolute destroyer of strength. You put him alongside where's Sugar? You put these two together and you just laugh at the enemy, like on a driven quick team, as long as they're running strength, obviously. Smoker, though, is a meta unit. This is a character you can put on any team, and this character is good. Like, this character is so good. Like, it's not even fair. His special one, his damage output is crazy. His Cracker, he's okay, I guess. I don't think I've ever used this crap. Oh, actually, no, I do. No, I use the Arlong. He's okay, I guess. Gaban is an option for the back end of a Psy team. As I said, Psy kind of need a little help with their nuking options. Moria is terrific with type advantage. Against Quick, he's very, very good at nerfing, just like this Kizaru. They came out at the same time, so it makes sense. Cracker... No, I just got them mixed up. Arlong is a slasher as well. Goes very, very well against Dex. He's actually quite good. I use him in the front lines of my strength team. This Smoothie is pretty good. The Smoothie's actually really good at the back end. She's the next best thing from Rebecca Toy Soldier for that Psy team. And she gives CD in the last couple of seconds, so she's actually really, really good. Strusen is really good as well, but I just don't find a place for Strusen anymore. I want to put him up here in Great Unit, but I do tend to run Smoothie a lot more than what I do with this particular Strusen. He's still really good, but you kind of want him in the front for him to work really nicely. Honestly, Kobe, you're never really going to use Kobe ever. I don't think I've ever run Kobe ever. Is really good if you are running against Psy. Again, halving stats is just absolutely broken. He works exceptionally well there. The Brogy Monsters, they are a great unit. They're so good if just to chuck on the back of a team and just have just some nuking prowess. They're basically a better version of what Whitebeard does, if I'm completely honest. Dalton, though, Dalton is a GOAT. Dalton has been a GOAT for a very long time, and the combination of Dalton and Pell, which, you know what, let's just grab Pell now and let's put them together so that way the video is a bit shorter. The combination of these two in the front lines works so well, because then you can run this guy in the bench and then this guy in the front. This core is just so disgustingly good. It's so disgustingly good. So, the combination of those two works so well. They're so, self-sufficient that they work exceptionally well. This Sandersonia is a meta unit in terms of bench nuking. She's a free spirit, and when you partner up with something like this, you can do this. You can do something so crazy, and that's why any boa or any also this boa too makes this unit so much better. The amount of cooldowns you get is just absolutely wild. Brogy and Dory are going to go into meta as well. They're two units that you can just slap on at the back end of any team and watch them just go to absolute work with Smoker as well. The three of them basically would always find their way into my Psy team. I'd have my main Psy lineup and then these three at the back, and the team would just morph into this weird int combination. You can do some really cool stuff with Powerhouse or Driven. The three of them just work exceptionally well. It's kind of nuts. Corazon, never going to use Corazon. Frankie is an absolutely defensive demon. I hate versing this Frankie on defense. He just does not die. Senor Pink, you're never going to use. You're never going to use this, what's his name? Usopp. Fuji is an absolute GOAT, though. Fuji is one of the best PvP characters in the game, alongside these three here. Must use on Driven Powerhouse teams. Staple on the Quick Driven team. Staple, he goes on the Int Driven team, even if Int, Moria, isn't boosting him. He just still goes there, because he's that goddamn good. He's actually that good. Kizaru is a great unit, but the product of shooters being a not great team. Donjin Jiao is a defensive absolute demon. I want to give Donjin Jiao a lot more credit than just a defensive demon. If you run Donjin Jiao in the front lines, go look yourself in the mirror. Go check yourself, because you are a terrible person. You're a terrible, terrible person. Because this unit is so annoying. Special Reverse and Special Blind in the same character is not okay. Especially when you hit 2 units of Special Blind and then reverse 2 other units. It's so fucking annoying that, this guy is just an absolute beast of a unit. You run him in the front lines of fighters, he's great. You run him in the front lines of Dex and just getting special off once. It's so dumb what this character can actually do. It's actually just not fair. It's not fair. However, I'm going to put him in defensive Juggernauts because I want to make a stand right here for people not to use that character in the front lines. I hate it so much. Oh yeah, I got him. Kanjuro is a meta-based unit. I think Kanjuro does not get enough love. He holds the Striker team together and finds his way on the Quick-Driven team. He's so freaking good. Fixed damage is so powerful. And this Kanjuro is a character that does that at lengths. King, though, is an absolute GOAT. He's a must-have for the bench. And if you have him, you're just going to see so much damage output from this particular unit that you can just absolutely decimate characters. It's just wild. Crocus... Honestly, Crocus is kind of the product of a bad team. Cerebrals could be really, really good, but they're just bad. Sunbell and that, you're never going to use them. Blue Jam, though. Ooh, Blue Jam's a GOAT. Halving defense and then guaranteeing the hit on the defensive characters that you've halved is so powerful. And then with Porkamy, you can actually do some really cool stuff with the fixed 4k damage. But I don't think that Porkamy is as good as Blue Jam. Blue Jam is so freaking powerful that he can just decimate characters, like decimate. And the bench options you have with like these particular units here, these three together, or like bringing this character with like Smoker, you can do some nuts, absolutely nuts things, like some crazy ass things. As for the rest of the characters, we're now getting into the anniversary and getting into the back end. We're going to start off with Shanks Crew 6+. Shanks Crew 6+ are an absolute goat. Just like Jack, you can chuck them on any team, and they give you so much stats. They're just so good. They're one of my favorite characters to run on like any team, and they just do absolute wonders. They're so goddamn good, and they hold the glue for like a lot of slasher teams and a lot of like weird wonky teams. Killer's okay. I haven't had a real chance to use Killer, but he's definitely a great unit. I think he works really well alongside Kid, but nothing like too nutso. Hawkins, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't touched Hawkins, so I'm gonna stick him in an option. Like if you use Hawkins, let me know in the comment section below. Apu though, Apu is really good. Apu is a meta unit. Apu's a must-have on the driven int team. He only boosts int, but he just absolutely tears through Psy. Like it's not fair. He does so much damage to Psy, it's not even funny. And he's just a must-have on that team. But he is a PvP legend, so I don't understand when a lot of people don't have him. This Bonnie is really good with advantage. And with advantage, she's just like Lore, but just nowhere near as good. She just tries to take down Driven Powerhouse, but she just doesn't do it nearly as well as what Lore does. She's terrific with advantage, but other than that, she's kind of whatever. She's kind of missed the mark quite a lot, to be honest. This Bardo Cavendish, though, is a friggin' fantastic character. I'm going to stick them up here in meta. The back end of meta, I don't think they're as good as like these two characters that just got buffed. But on Chonky Slashes, these guys do work. Like, they do absolute work. It's not even funny. And they're a fantastic character to have on Slasher teams. Their defensive capabilities are crazy. Their damage output is nuts. In Grand Party, they hit for like 9k with half stats, which is just disgusting. This Jack, I don't have, so I'm going to stick him in option. He's kind of whatever. As for the Anniversary Legends of Queen, honestly, and King, like, they're okay. And honestly, I think Jack's probably the same. So let's put these three Anniversary characters together. And let's just, like, bid them adieu. I see what they try to do with, like, Kaido. But, like, Kaido's just way better than them. So, where did I put Kaido? He's up here. Yeah, he's a great unit. But these three, they're not. They're not. Moving on to 6+ Big Mom. Look, I haven't even looked at what she does. So, let's put her right next to the rest of these driven assholes. Let's put her there. Let's move on to the PvP characters, and then we're going to touch on the Anniversary Badge. Sasaki and Who's Who are fantastic. I think they're very, very good. Sasaki's a striker, which does absolute work, and Who's Who can halve attack. He's really, really good. He has like halve stats capabilities, but I do think the Sasaki's way better. The Sasaki, I think, lowers defense, if I remember correctly, and then does a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. But I think Sasaki's just better because Sasaki finds his way onto the striker team, where Who's Who doesn't really have a home per se. But both these PvP characters are very, very good. Fantastic additions to the PvP roster. I just wish that they sort of helped Strength out a little bit more than what they do. I think Who's Who does a little bit, but like he has to compete with the other Strength Who's Who, which is kind of annoying, so it is what it is there. Ivankov and Inuyasuma, they're both cerebral characters, so I'm going to put them in great unit with bad teams, because I just want to put them together with the cerebral quick units. I haven't seen anything on these characters. Like, it's not even that I've, like, haven't really read what they do. I haven't even seen any content on them. So, I don't want to, like, judge them unfairly, but I'm going to put them next to the rest of the quick cerebral characters. I'm going to leave them there, and we'll touch on them later. But, Anniversary came around, and it did release an absolute monster trio of Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy Yamato. Now, Oden and Toki also came alongside this. They can give haste, and they can do some nice damage and action bind. The problem with this unit is it has to compete with this unit right here. And this unit, in my opinion, is just miles better than this character. However, this character is still really good. They boost strength and quick, and then they just boost the team. So they can find their way onto a meta, like a meta-based team. But, like, you have other Odins that are just so good in PvP that this unit just really doesn't find a home, and it's kind of sad a little bit because this unit is really good on paper, and when you get the haste ability off, it's very good, but I think they sort of fall somewhere between great unit and meta-based character, so I'm going to put them there for now because Free Spirits are going absolutely AWOL, but I do want to touch on these three, the big three, and before we actually talk about them, I'm just going to do everyone a favor, and I'm just going to bring them straight to the top, because right now, Free Spirits are so freaking good, man. Like, they are so disgustingly good. In Championship, they are basically unkillable. In Grand Party, they were disgustingly powerful. And I just gotta make this a preface that this is the 9th anniversary month. This is the month where Free Spirit is going AWOL. So, look, this may be subject to change. And I'll hopefully be able to do a PvP tier list a little bit sooner rather than later for you guys. But right now, these three characters are nuts. Luffy Yamato has the ability to just absolutely decimate characters. Finds their way on Free Spirit and Striker teams alongside this unit right here. But you can do some crazy wonky builds with just Jack, Shanks Crew, Whitebeard Roger, Luffy Yamato, and then, I don't know, slap like Kanjuro in the middle because you have Cerebral Strikers. You have so much bulk, you have so much tanking, you have so much damage, and you can just tear through team lineups. However, when we got the release of this unit, there was no real synergy, and like they were kind of very wonky. You kind of had to do some real janky-ass builds with like Tesoro as well. But then we got Sanji, who gave 30% CD to Free Spirits on his special. Gives a lot of speed, gives a lot of attack, and has a shield, which is disgusting. And then we got Zoro, who has a revive mechanic, and a counter, and a provoke, and guard, and defense, and attack up. And the three of them together just go absolutely AWOL. My favorite team to run at the moment looks a little bit like this. These 5 characters. I'm just going to bring you back here for now. These 5 characters, and then just any one of these nukers on the bench, whether you run Pell, Dalton, because they're slashes, Smoker for the special blind, King for the decimation that he has, Blue Jam for the absolute carnage. These guys are both slashes as well, so you can do stuff like that. The list goes on and on and on, so you can do some really, really cool things with these particular characters. And for Free Spirits, this core is just, it's ridiculous. And it makes Otama so much better, because Otama can heal them all up. And you can do some nutso things as well. So at the moment, I think Free Spirit sort of rule the roost a lot. But out of the 3, the most valuable one to have, in my opinion, is Luffy Yamato. I think Luffy Yamato is by far the best of the 3. I think Zoro is probably the weakest because he's just like your defensive option. But for defensive teams, he's a menace. His counter does so much damage. He can wipe out teams literally just with his counter. And then Sanji just helps get these guys cooldowns. And the 3 of them together is just absolutely nuts. But this is what we came to see. The top 5, my favorite PvP characters in the entire game. First of all, we're going to go with number 5. And obviously I have to select from this particular tier here. Number 5 goes to Shanks Crew. Shanks Crew is a character that you can just put on any team, and he makes that team instantly better. In the last 70 seconds, he gives so much defense. He has a HP cutter, which is so valuable with tanky teams. He gives so much defense. Cerebral slashes are or slashes in particular, are so good. And this character is an absolute demon on those particular teams. Next, Sai Odin. Sai Odin has stood the test of time. The amount of damage output he has, the Free Spirit buff that he can give, works exceptionally well at the moment. Fantastic character. One of my favorite legends to run. And the amount of damage this guy holds for Free Spirit and Free Spirit Sight and even Slasher teams is very, very good. Next, we got Jack. Jack is a sleeper. Jack is so good because, again, he goes on pretty much any team. I do want to tie him up with Tesoro. I think Tesoro and Jack, the 2 of these guys together, provide so much. They're so incredibly powerful, and they both go on so many teams like Strikers, Fighters, Driven, Rainbow teams. They all work exceptionally well. Next, we got Luffy Yamato. I think they're probably the second best PP character in the game. I understand they're super wonky, and you are relying on their the back end for them to come in and just kill units, but they do exceptionally well. And finally, Whitebeard and Roger. Whitebeard and Roger, in my opinion, are the best PvP character in the entire game. They instantly kill 2 units. Like, they just instantly kill. Like, no doubt about it. Honestly, I totally forgot to put Luffy up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop Odin out, and I'm going to bring Luffy into this spot here. I think, now that I've reevaluated what I've been saying, I do think Odin is not as good. But Luffy is so good. Like, he's a must-have, and Dex is so strong. But Whitebeard and Roger, they are the best PvP character in the entire game. And if you have them, max them out because they do absolute bits. Absolute bits. If I had to drop something out, actually, I'd put Luffy at the back, and I'd probably drop Luffy out of this top 5. Maybe Jack. because Shank's crew sort of just does what Jack does, but better. But if I had to, if someone put a gun to my head right now and said take one out, I would probably take Jack out. I'd probably have it look like this. So yes, that's going to wrap up the tier list. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of PvP characters in the comment section below. Obviously, this was a very long one, and I do appreciate all you guys for getting it at the end. I want to see I love Grand Party in the comment section below. I love GP. Grand Party's the best. Something like that, just for the lols, because everyone hates that game mode. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button. Most importantly, though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later. PvP.